improve their survival. And secondly, a lot of the women who go in to get an abnormal mammogram checked out could just have a needle biopsy done at the first stage rather than have a lumpectomy, and that would be less expensive. But the culture is very hard to change, and especially with the notion of needle biopsies. There's been a lot, in the public domain in the past couple of weeks talking about doctors who refuse just to do needle biopsies because, they have to refer a patient to a radiologist instead of doing it themselves, and therefore they'll lose money. So, yeah, I mean, there's the other, thing that can save money is by having one standardized insurance claim record. I mean, some physicians deal with 100 different insurance companies.
Oh, my.
So they have to have somebody in their office who can understand the differences between these 100 different policies and forms. I mean, in Canada and in the UK, they don't have that problem. We spend far more on administrative costs.
Can I ask one question?
That's right.
If somebody, let's say it's a Saturday, and somebody has a condition that they need to be seen by a doctor, how much difference is there? How much difference is there in how much it costs to go to the cost overall, not just to the patient, to go to the urgent care as opposed to the emergency room?
Urgent care facilities are far less expensive than the hospital emergency room. Hospital emergency rooms are very expensive because they have to keep up the beds. They have to have more technology available. They have to have more personnel available. And you're basically, if you're going in with a minor condition, you're taking up space for somebody who might really need that service. And urgent care facilities have saved, millions of dollars in terms of cost when patients are sick on weekends.
Do you have any idea how much it would, suppose somebody has bronchitis and they're having a lot of difficulty breathing, but it can be handled without anything particularly special? How much would the dollar figure be? I mean, do you have any idea?
I mean, I haven't costed it out, but it would be in the thousands of dollars.
Well, emergency room would cost thousands of dollars?
Yes, yes.
Like $2,000 or $3,000 each?
It possibly could, depending upon what went on. I mean, if they ordered a CAT scan, if they ordered a test, it depending upon how long you stayed. And the problem is the emergency room doesn't make much profit off of those cases. It's very expensive. And, the insurance may not pay for that visit. So a patient has to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, when you say in a lot of those cases, then that patient can't pay that. It ends up in some sort of bankruptcy or credit, and then the hospital never gets that money.
Right.
In the end, right?
Right.
And then
Or
especially if it's an accident, it could be hundreds of thousands.
They transfer it to the insurance. They transfer it by charging insurance companies.
But if the person's not, overall.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if a poor patient can't pay for it, the rich patient who's in the bed next door, their insurance gets charged more. It's very complicated.
Jen, it seems to me, I mean, I'm looking at Michigan, but Jen, there are too many hospitals. I mean, because all of them can't be busy all the time. I mean, did medical sociology look at that? I mean, I gather feasibility studies are done, but my impression is that that's also driven by something else.
Well, it is, and certain geographic areas do have more hospital beds. And in some cases, that increases the probability that you'll be admitted to the hospital because the bed is there.
And that runs up healthcare costs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a real...
Right. I mean, and there are huge regional variations in the provision of services. I mean, the Dartmouth group has studied that extensively. It's called small area variation.
Other questions? Thank you very much.
Well, thank
I
you
mean,
very
this is
much.
a wonderful...